Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Swami Chinmayananda explains Vasanas through BMI chart. I'm sure I butchered that. And whenever I think of BMI chart, I think of body mass index chart. I don't know if that's what that means over here. I don't think so. Maybe it does. I don't know. Anyways, this was requested. If you have a request, please leave it in the comments below. Please leave the title, the YouTube channel, and the link so I can search for it, because if you leave the link, it might be put on hold for review, but it might not. So anyway, CC's on. Let's go ahead and get started.
What is life?
What is life?
We know it is with us, but we don't know what it is. It is a theme of our investigation, our inquiry. When thus there is a factor which we know is there, but we don't know at this moment, in order to help us to consistently search for it, we generally assume that let that unknown thing be X in arithmetics, gamma or beta or theta in science. By assuming that sound, it is only a representation. In itself, it is nothing. It is the unknown. Similarly, in philosophy, in the science, subjective science, they said, this spark of existence in you, this spring of consciousness in us, this touch of life in all living beings, let us call it as Om. It's a sound symbol. What is that Om is what we are searching. Now, when you don't know what you are suffering from, the doctors start observing the symptoms, symptomatic treatment, because we don't know what is the spring of that disease. In the same way, when I can't directly know this great truth, with all my faculties that are available to me at this moment, I start study of it in terms of its expressions. Life in me expresses, or life in the whole world expresses, through three equipments of life. We are deliberately using the word equipment because you are familiar with electrical equipments. Contrivances through which, when electricity passes, we see its manifestation, work done, and that is called equipment. There are three equipment. Equipment has no plural. So you don't say three equipments, though to make others understand I used to do it, but it is against a grammar. Just as deer has no plural, you don't say deers, but all that we say is a team of deer.
I was, whenever it said a equipment, it's supposed to be an equipment, and I was kind of like thinking, it's grammar. I hate English, and now he starts talking about it. I'm like, English is so it's honestly like probably one of the least complicated language, maybe. And I know there are more complicated language out there. Really way off topic, but he just pointed it out and stuck in my head. I just had to say something about that. It's like deers. I don't know. You know, why can't it just be simplified? Just add an S to make it plural, and don't have a for a boy or an apple. You know, like a singularity. You can say a apple or a boy. Just make it a little bit easier instead of saying a boy and an apple.
A host of deer. Not deer has no plural. Similarly, we have no plural for equipment. The three equipments, there is no plural. The three equipments, because if I don't use it, you feel funny. The three equipments are the body, the mind and the intellect.
Okay, so it's vertical, not sideways. Last video I watched of his, I thought it was sideways. Body, mind, and intelligence. Huh, that was body mass index, but I guess I was wrong. I knew I was wrong, but I didn't know what BMI stood for in his terminology. Body. What's P and O though?
Sharira mana buddhi are the upadhis through which life expresses in this whole world. In the mineral world, it has got a body only, a shape, a form. In the plant kingdom, when the stone or the soil has become a little more evolved into a plant, the plant has got a form, body, and the beginnings of the mind. It is able to respond to sunlight and water vapor. Nothing more. And latest now, discovery is that they respond to a certain kind of music, stringed instrument. I have no objection. Let them. See? The beginnings of the mind. When that plant kingdom evolves to be an animal, it has got a form body and a fully developed mind. Fully developed mind.
But instinctual in nature, I'm sure.
And the animals function as ordered by the instincts and the impulses of the mind.
And ours was developed with the intellect, okay.
It is only in human beings we have got not only the body,
The instincts and the intelligence.
not only a form and shape, but a fully developed mind of the animal, plus a subtle instrument of discriminative thinking capacity to rationalize and think properly.
I do wonder what people would say now that we discovered some animals to be actually quite intelligent. In terms of like, I think crows are quite intelligent. They can, they know how to place like nuts on streets, and cars will run over them to break them open. And I even heard in a video that if you kind of befriend a crow, I guess they kept giving crows like food. And I think this lady went out and went shooting, and she came back and forgot the lens for her camera. Apparently the crow followed her to her shooting, picked up the lens whenever she came back home, and flew the lens back to her house and dropped it off. That's quite remarkable. I definitely need verification for that, but it seems so out of there. I don't necessarily believe that maybe all crows would do that, but maybe was something different about this one particular crow. But like intelligent animals that can understand at least maybe some of the baser functionalities of intelligence, like when someone's happy and sad, or when someone, I mean, like dogs, when you say you need food or something, they've been trained, yes, but kind of like babies too, they don't have intellect until you teach them stuff. So I wonder if, I know, wait, no, let me not say I know, let me rewind it, I'm sorry. But he did say that it's something that's human, that exclusively human has the intellect.
Plus a subtle instrument of discriminative thinking capacity to rationalize and think properly.
Okay, I didn't rewind it far enough, but I won't. I think Sadhguru has said that the intellect was something special about humans. Now, I don't know if he says that it's exclusively human, but I'm wondering what would Sadhguru say now that's like, hey, look, animals have the thinking capacity of like 7-year-olds. What do you think about that? I wonder if we would start applying these things to the animals as well. But at least, I would say at the very least, in terms of Brahman, everything kind of applies because they may develop this. Maybe they do have okay, everything. Does everything have Turiya? It's just the fact that they don't have a mind to interpret it. I do believe that's the teachings of that.
Creativity. This ability is called the intellect. We have, all of us have got all the animal instincts and impulses. You jump into a conclusion and act on it. Every one of us do. When he said that, I got so angry, I don't remember anything. And such an individual behaves like any other animal, barking and biting and fighting. See? But an intelligent man, even though he also has got all the animal instincts and impulses, he starts criticizing, critically viewing his own impulses rising, and he starts judging it. Is it right? Is it wrong? Will it bring happiness to me? Will it bring unhappiness to others? And when I find that a certain instinct and impulse that comes to me is creating sorrow to others, I give it a deflection, I give it a new direction and make it more creative. This ability the animal has not got. Only human beings have got it. So to act permissive, whatever I felt, I did it.
I guess maybe the intellect, that's something that only humans has. It's not necessarily knowing what to do, but maybe it's whether what you're doing is good or bad. So maybe that's what they're talking about. Because I can see as animals will do things and not necessarily know if it's good or bad. I mean, some animals can, for the most part, be able to read emotional responses and different behaviors to understand that, maybe understand it's good and bad, maybe that. But it's a very basic understanding of that.
That is not freedom, that is licentiousness. Freedom is the freedom in me to say no to myself of things that I understand to be wrong. This ability of discriminative thinking that you have got, and that is why man is progressive. Animals are still in that very same state. At the time of Adam and Eve, if the bees have built the beehive, so beautifully made, even an ordinary architect cannot create such beautiful structured cell as the beehive. And yet, even today, the same blueprint. They have not changed it. They have not put a drawing room in front, a cantilever, a porch in front, so that during rainy season they can come under the porch, dry up and then go in. They have never thought of it. A cantilever, they needed. Whatever that was there at that time, nature had made them do it. Even today, under the impulse of nature, no freedom at all. They go on doing it. Even their sex life is ordered by nature. A certain season where the birds and the animals feel the sex urge. Freedom is not for them. But with the intellect developed, the sophisticated creature called man, he has got all the freedom, He can use his own discrimination to do or to commit or to omit. He has got the freedom to do or not to do, or do it otherwise. All these abilities are in you, and therefore the progress, the material scientific progress. So the body with the sense organs, the mind with its emotions, instincts and impulses, and the intellect with its rational thinking capacity.
I would have never thought the mind to be emotions. That's so weird. Because I guess at least where I'm growing up is the fact that we always think of the heart as the emotion, even though technically that's not where the emotion comes from, and the mind as the rational thinking. But I guess it is true. I mean, even though I've known this, it's never been, told to me like that. It's always been, oh, you think with your heart, or you think with your emotions, which is generally in your heart, even though it's not there. But to say that it's in your mind, wow. I mean, it's known, but somehow I didn't know. Huh. I wonder if I'd go up to random people. It's like, man, you need to stop thinking with your emotions. Stop thinking with your head, because that's where your emotions come from, or something like that, to see what they'll do.
No. The body, the mind, the intellect are made up of matter. Calcium, carbon, phosphorus. Grosser matter, the gross body. Subtler matter is the mind and intellect. Matter is, whether gross or subtle, is inert and insentient. You and I are dynamic and conscious. Where does it get it? The parts of the car are all inert matter, and it moves. What makes the car move? What makes the bulb grow? There must be something other than the bulb expressing through the bulb. In the same way, what is it that is enlivening me? And a time comes when I have no capacities. My efficiency gone, my beauty of emotions gone, my brilliancy of intellect gone, even Einstein.
He sounds so low to me in most parts. And that's why I have CC on too, but even then sometimes CC gets a lot of things wrong on this guy, and I'm trying to hear him out too. So just to let you know, it's not necessarily the volume, it's the video itself. It's already turned all the way up, but
Stops all thinking. The body is there lying down, but he has no faculties, abilities, capacities. Why? Life is no more expressing through it. Carefully. Thus, my friends, there must be something other than matter, the BMI, to enliven the BMI. That is why in your Bible said, God is in the heart of all, enlivening everything. Vitalizing everything, lending their faculties to them by His grace. Just as the bulb has got light with the grace of electricity, the heater has got heat by the grace of electricity. You and I are today functioning as we are due to the grace of something other than matter. Since it is something other than matter, it is called the spirit. In the spiritual center or the spark of existence or consciousness, which is one in everyone, Just as electricity is one, the bulbs are different, the radios are different, the computers are different, equipments are different, but the electricity is one. Cars are different, Japanese cars or American cars or European cars, but petrol, the gas is one the same. Life is one, plant, animal and human. Enlivens everyone according to the equipments available. And that one reality is indicated by the sound symbol Om. So the consciousness or Om, when expressing through the sense organs, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin of your body, there crystallizes a sense of conscious individuality. I, the perceiver, perceiving with the eyes,
the
ears,
observer.
nose, tongue, skin, what? The sense objects.
Objects.
I am seeing, I am hearing, I am smelling, I am tasting. How do you see? How is so simple? With the eyes I see. Eyes cannot see. If eyes could see by itself, every one of us would have only one eye. Because we would have kept one eye in the office. To have an eye on the office. And very many of you, not in the office, but you keep it at home to have an eye upon my people at home. Yeah. The eyes, if I remove and keep it on the table, the eyes cannot see. The eyeball is a yes. And today in the modern world, it is not very difficult for you to understand, as in good old days, because we are doing transplant. So I die, but my eyes are young, and they can take my eyes and give it to a born blind man. He starts seeing through my dead eyes. So it is not the eyes that are seeing, it is the consciousness behind the eyes. Become conscious of what the eyes are seeing. And then I say, I see, I hear, I smell, I taste. But all of them I mean, I am conscious of what I am seeing, I am conscious of what I am hearing, I am conscious of the taste, conscious of the smell.
I do wonder though. So we'll go with this example with the eyes. So I know a lot of people know about a lot of the color thing going on the internet. Like the dress, I believe, was one where some said it was like white and blue. Other one says gray and a very odd color. I can't remember what it was, like pink or something like that. Because of how we all grew up learning about colors. So like there's a lot, and then how we hear things. See, like Jarl and Laurel and Jarl. How if you read the word and you hear the sound, you'll hear what you read. But if you read the other word, even though it's saying the exact same thing, it'll be what you read is what you hear. So let me go with the eye. Sorry. So if he were to transplant his eyes to a blind person, say this person was not blind, his eyes just got chemicals and then it went bad. So he perceives the color red. He says, "Oh, that's pinkish," and all of us said, "No, that's red." It's like, no, that's pink. That's how I see it. I'm like, okay, well you're wrong. It's more red. And then some other people say, no, it's pink. It's like, okay, well that's weird. Some people see this color as pink. Some people see it colors as red. But then if that person gets his eyes transplanted, and if he sees it as red now, well, I guess that still goes up to the faculties. I meant the Your organ, your sense organs. I guess that wasn't a. I mean, then that's kind of weird. How are you sensing the world? Are you sensing it through your own eyes? Your brain is getting that information, but why has it changed? If that is the case, I don't know. I've not seen eye transplants happen yet, but I was making that statement to go to this one where I do believe someone lost their voice and someone had the vocal cords of someone who died put into someone else's mouth. I'm sorry, in their throat, and they actually sound like the dead person. I've seen a video on that. Again, definitely verify that. Don't just believe in me on that. And it was kind of weird because again he knows his voice. I think I think he had throat cancer or something like that, and had to get his vocal cords removed. But he ended up getting a transplant, and now he sounds of the dead person. I don't know if I made a point or not, or was that just a bunch of nothing. But this is the sheer fact of the transplant he was talking about, and made me think about that. And then eyes being some very different from the vocal cords, even though you're the one who's talking, but it's not your voice. Well, it's not your throat. It's not your vocal cords. It's the vocal cords of a dead person, and you are passing wind through it to make voice. It is your words, but it's not your sound. Kind of like the eyes. If the eyes were transplanted and the guy that saw this color before said it was pink, and then all of a sudden got new eyes and said it's red, you're getting the information from a dead person's eyes. Let's just continue on. I went so deep into that.
The consciousness behind enlivens, and not knowing, I become Mr. Perceiver, the seer, the hearer, the smeller, the taster, the toucher. Similarly, consciousness functioning through the mind becomes the conscious psychological me, the feeler I, feeling with the mind.
Sorry, gotta rewind that. I didn't realize he moved on to the next part. Oops, too far.
Become conscious of what the eyes are seeing. And then I say, I see, I hear, I smell, I taste. But all of them, I mean, I am conscious of what I am seeing. I am conscious of what I am hearing. I am conscious of the taste, conscious of the smell. The consciousness behind enlivens, and not knowing, I become Mr. Perceiver, the seer, the hearer, the smeller, the taster, the toucher. Similarly, consciousness functioning through the mind becomes the conscious psychological me, the feeler I, feeling with the mind various emotions. Love, hatredness, jealousy, greed, passion. Oh, endless varieties. The same consciousness functioning through the intellect expresses as the conscious thinker I, and the thinker I with my intellect thinks the world of thoughts. Thus, the world of objects, the field of emotions, and the realms of thought are the fields from which I gather my experiences.
I thought he said talks, like talking. Body, mind, intellect, perceiver, feeler, thinker, objects, emotion, thought. Think, thought, yeah. Perceiver, object, feel, emotions, thinker, thought. Okay, I get it. When you perceive objects, you feel emotions, you think thoughts.
With the sense organs, the body, the mind and the intellect. So BMI are the equipments of my experiences. OET represents the fields of my experiences. And I, the experiencer, the individualized conscious ego, is PFT. It is not that I am seeing with my eyes, then you become a perceiver. But the moment you understand that I am seeing through my eyes, you become independent. Is it not? Yes. You are standing in your drawing room, you are seeing the moon rise. Now the question is, who is seeing the moon rise? Simple, Swamiji. The window is seeing the moon rise. Why? If there is no window, will you see the moon? Huh?
Well, there'd be a hole there, right?
The window is seeing the moon rise, or are you seeing the moon through the window? So are you not you who is in you, who is using these equipments to experience the outer world? Thus, I, the consciousness, in the eyes become the seer, in the ears become the hearer, in the nose the smeller, in the tongue the taster, in the skin the toucher, in the mind the feeler, in the intellect the thinker. Alas, in an unholy combination of you have forgotten who you are, and unholy combination identified with the body, mind and intellect, you say that I am the perceiver, the feeler, the thinker. And it is this PFT who wants private interview for the sorrows of his life. Think. So then, the PFT is the individualized ego, the jiva, the sufferer and enjoyer of the world. The BMI are the instruments of experiences. OET is the total field of experiences. Nobody in the world has got any equipment other than the three. Nobody, rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy, developed nation or not developed nation, or underdeveloped nation, or never developing nation. Nobody has any other field from which to gather their experiences. The world of objects, emotions and thoughts are the only world from which they can harvest their experiences, collect their experiences, all through life. From birth to death, every moment you are having experiences. The experiencer is you. Therefore, we go to another man and say that I am experiencing unhappiness, identified with the happy or unhappy emotion. I don't understand what you are talking, Swamiji, or I am smart in misunderstanding, Swamiji. That is your intellectual. I am healthy or unhealthy. I have no home. I have no wife. At the physical level. Thus the physical, the psychological and the intellectual personality in you all put together is called a Mr. Ego, the hero of your autobiography. See? If you write your autobiography, who is the hero? I. Who is this I? Swamiji, I. Analyze it. This experience of. Now, Having thus discovered it, when the teachers looked out through the windows, these great rishis looked out, having understood the mechanism of life, when you looked out, they found that every PFT, all through their life, in every experience, is trying to discover a total happiness, complete satisfaction, total contentment from OET through BMI. This is your autobiography. Everyone, irrespective of whether you are a congenital idiot or a great genius, spiritual or materialistic, have
Sorry. Congenital idiot or great genius. For some odd reason, I thought about the what is it? There are some sayings that ignorance is bliss. Then I also thought about some things that I've talked with my friends where generally speaking, stupid people tend to be happier than smart people. And then whenever I thought of that, I went straight to Sadhguru whenever it says, you know where all the unhappiness lies? In your intellect or your intelligence. I don't know which one he said. It's one of those two. But I'm like, he is right. I've heard those sayings before. He said it and I understood it. But somehow at that moment it kind of clicked. It's kind of bad. Not bad, but just sad, I guess, to think that, I don't know, is it jealousy to be, it's like, I'm jealous that dude's dumb. That's weird to say, but it's not that.
or have-nots. Every individual, nay, not only man, unconsciously, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom also is searching and seeking for its own happiness. And what he wants is permanent happiness. Though thus the individualized ego is demanding a permanent happiness, it doesn't know where it lies. And all that is available is only the OET. And therefore each individual strive to hug as much of OET as possible in order to get to permanent happiness. But they forget that it is never permanent, because all these are conditioned by time. Nothing is permanent. Einstein discovered it in the 20th century, that time and space are the quantum in which alone the plurality can exist and function. This is the latest Western discovery. In the Vedic period, our masters have said that this is all time-bound, kala-bandhita, and time is constantly changing. And therefore everything that is conditioned and floating in time must also keep on changing. Is not your body constantly changing? Nobody need be a philosopher to know it. None of you were born from the mother's womb on this size that you are now. You have been growing.
To be painful.
Childhood, youth, middle age, old age, it goes on. Is not your mind changing? Things you loved 5 years ago, today you hate as poison. Things you hated 3 years ago, today you feel a kind of tenderness and love. Don't people divorce 5 years ago and then remarry that same woman after 5 years?
That sounds like a problem, though. Only reason why is there's a saying that people don't change, so you should not necessarily,
expect people to change. So if you go back and remarry and the same thing happens, then you're kind of to blame for that anyway.
Your mind changes.
I do believe people do change, but you just gotta be mindful and watch out.
Your faith, your belief, your ideas, your ideology is not intellectually you are changing. I am not talking of those who are educating themselves and studying. Even if you don't study, it's not the hammerings of the world outside make you change your values. So the body, the mind, the intellect are changing.
Mm-hmm.
The world outside, are they not changing? Are not the objects constantly changing in their arrangements? Are not emotions that you receive from others constantly changing? Don't you generally say that so and me, we were such friends? I tell you, Swamiji, it is one soul in two bodies. We were together like brothers. Today he hates me. Last 4 years we lived like brothers, and today he hates me. It is his fault that he discovered you only 4 years it took for him to discover that you don't deserve it. That we never think of it. That change. The emotions that you receive. At one place you get applause, at another place discouragement, or what do you call that? Criticism. 3 women who are working here, they felt very bad that I am against all women in my talks. See, Krishna, in discussing that the 4 types of human beings, he is a rascal. He should not have said like that. What does it matter? Hey, this is all human frailty. We have to only smile, not feel unhappy about it or angry about it. That is how they understood. These discourses, that dog was constantly lying down and listening. What has he understood? Right? He has not even the intelligence to misunderstand. And 2, 3, those girls or ladies are trying to go away from the ashram. It's better that they go because they are wasting their time here. This is not meant for blind faith. It is a highly intellectual field for thinking. So why saying was the emotions change, the intellectual concepts change. I was a communist, now a capitalist. Because I found that there is a lot of money in drugs. Become capitalist. Is it not changing, people changing? Capitalists, are they not becoming communists and socialists? In politics. In philosophy, I had no faith at all. Now I have discovered faith. Is it not? Even some of the greatest saints in the world were atheists before, but they changed their attitude because their intellect changed. That's, my friend, all the BMI are constantly changing. OET is constantly changing. Between these 2 changing factors, you stupidly come to believe that a certain condition can be created in my mind that permanently peaceful, serene, nothing will happen to me. When I got some money in the bank.
Alright, I'm going to have to pause right here before it runs too long. Alright. Okay, so it was in fact vertical. I was doing horizontal in the last video with him. I thought it was... Well, it is both, actually. I thought it was just horizontal, different stages. And maybe I was right, actually, now that I think about it. Alright, so... He talked a lot about the physical world so far, which is the BMI, PFT, and OET. The body, perceiver, object, mind, feelings, emotion, intelligent thinker, and thought. I thought, like, at first I thought the middle and the bottom one they're essentially the same. Well, except for the B portion, like you are the perceiver and what you're perceiving is the object. And then I like feeling and emotion, I guess maybe how I've heard people use those words, they're interchangeable. Your feelings and your emotions are the same, but I guess it meant like when you feel something, what emotion is it? Happiness. Emotion is either happiness, sadness. They're not the same emotion, but it's just the definition of the emotion, and that's what you're feeling. Thinker and thought. You think about something and then a thought happens. What that thought is different. So I get it. Wait, that's the is the middle constant? Yes, it is. You will always be the perceiver and nothing else. Well, I guess you can be the perceived as well. You will always have feelings. What does that even mean? Anything though? I probably just said nothing there. Anyways, I gotta pause right here. So that's the first part of Swami Chinmayananda explains Vasanas thought BMI chart. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.